on ESPN. It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Tonight, the Tennessee Volunteers take on number 18, Maryland. Everybody, and a Happy New Year. Ron Franklin here along with Mike Gottfried. And Mike, let's talk about running backs tonight. Chris Downs really came just out of nowhere and has shocked even his coaches. Perry is now healthy. They got a good tandem of backs at Maryland.
Ron, I really believe whoever runs the football the best is going to win this football game, because both these teams need the running game. Chris Downs, Bruce Perry, they're going to be double threats against Tennessee's defense.
Cedric Houston, we didn't get to see him the night we were in Tennessee against Arkansas. He had an injury to a finger. He's healthy again, and they're looking for big things out of him, Mike.
And the key is if they can run inside tackle to tackle, because that'll open Casey Clausen.
The coaches in this one, Philip Fulmer, now in his 11th season as the head coach. You see the winning percentage at 81, 6-4 in bowl games. And across the way, Ralph Friedgen, last year's National Coach of the Year. In his second season, he is 20-5. They started out 1-2 and then rattled off 7 wins in a row. Novak prepares to kick it off. Larkins, one of the deep men, number 23 for the Tennessee Volunteers. Here's the kick deep into the end zone, and this one will not be returned by Larkins. So it'll be Casey Clausen coming out to make his first appearance in this 2002 Peach Bowl. And Mike, it was interesting. I talked to him yesterday down on the field, and I said, your foot, your injured shoulder, the collarbone, how is everything? He said, I feel better now than I did even the first football game of the year.
Ron, he needs a receiver to step up on the outside to help him get some big plays in this game.
So Tennessee goes from their own 20-yard line. As you look at number 42, looking into the eyes of Clausen. Of course, that's Henderson. We'll check the lineups momentarily. Play action. Clausen staying at home defensively is Wilson. Bernard Wilson is there to make the hit, and it's for a loss. Well, tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Skill Tools. Houston and Fleming in the backfield. Jones and Brown, the receivers. Keep an eye on Jason Witten, one of the best tight ends in the country. Scott Wells, it all starts with him in the middle there. Fine center for the Volunteers. Will Oppenhusel is a team captain and a senior out of Martin, Tennessee. Loss of 9. Second down and long, Volunteers. Right up the middle, nothing. Maybe a loss of 1 as Houston was hit in the backfield. Starks with penetration, and he is the man who made the tackle. Defensively, Cochran, Starks, who just made the hit. Justin Duffy, who has come out of nowhere because of injury and other folks not being around. We'll talk more about him. And the linebackers right there in the middle, E.J. Henderson. In the secondary, the corners, Foxworth and Carone Cox, Wilson and Mediu Williams at the safeties.
Starks is injured, Ron, and they cannot afford to lose Randy Starks because Justin Duffy starting at nose guard. They picked him up from the scout team, so they're a little thin on the defensive line.
Adrian Karsten, let's check down on the sideline with you.
Ron, update on the injury shortly, but they cannot afford an injury, especially up front when Justin Duffy, if you come in tonight and you buy a program and you see him listed as a running back, number 64, he has now played a total of 3 snaps in his college football career. Literally. The only play he had coming into tonight was the final snap of the game against North Carolina. Now tonight he starts out of necessity at nose tackle. Have the update on the injury shortly, but this could be big news for Maryland.
Well, I would imagine his heart is pounding. Coming into the lineup with him, Landon Jones, who's a junior out of Marion, Ohio. But Duffy, who was out of Gaithersburg, played special teams, and in practice he stood out, and they really didn't have anybody else to go to. And we understand he's listed at 250. But Adrian will get you to double check on this, that he is up to at least 280 pounds. So that would help him out some as far as playing at defensive tackle. Third down. They need the 30. Clausen's pass. Quick out. 15, at the 20, and Montrell Jones will put him in a position where at least they can flip the field a little bit with the punt, but it's going to be 4th down. It's still very long, Tennessee. Good sequence, Maryland defense.
Yeah, Maryland won on that first series. On first play, Casey Clausen got sacked. They're not good enough on offense to overcome a 10-yard loss.
Dustin Colquitt, the lefty, very good kicker. One of the things he's worked on this year, getting more height, making him a better coverage kicker. Very dangerous return man in Suter. Steve Suter, number 34. Here's the boot. Good high coverage kick. Suter, no fair catch, brings it in. 37, hit immediately at the 38, and that's great coverage on the special teams. It was Witten, the tight end, who made the tackle. 41 on the punt and 1 on the return. Scott McBrien, a junior out of Rockville, Maryland. Now, Mike, when we first saw him, and it was the weekend of the Florida State game, still trying to fathom this offense, very intricate offense of Ralph Friedgen's, and he was searching for confidence as well.
Well, what helped him get the confidence was Chris Downs' emergence as a running back.
Dugan, the tight end, flips from the left side over to the right. Suter in motion, but it's a give straight ahead. Hit at the line of scrimmage is Chris Downs. Going to be no gain. Tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Skill Tools, and this is the way they start for Maryland. Downs and Lynch in the backfield, Monroe and Suter, wide receiver. Jeff Dugan, more of a blocker than a pass receiver. And up front with the offensive line, Todd White, the center, all ACC first team. Right tackle Matt Crawford, first team all ACC. Both of those youngsters have graduated already and are in grad school. Bruce Perry checks in. Chris Downs comes to the sideline. McBrien, first throw, out in the flat. That's Downs. 40, 43, maybe the 44. It's going to be 3rd down, and they'll have about 4.5. Stephen Marsh making the tackle. Very good group up front. Han, Moore, Franklin, and Dimitrenville. The linebackers, boy, this is a tough situation. Eddie Moore, team captain, has never missed a game at Tennessee. Not starting tonight. He might not even play. It is Stephen Marsh who gets the start ahead of him. Battle, a very good one. Number 14 at cornerback. Not only good cover with the pass, very strong and physical against the run. There's a look at Eddie on the sideline. Eddie Moore, the senior, out of South Pittsburgh. And I promise you his heart is weeping a little bit tonight. Here comes the pressure on McBrien. He'll run. Gets by another man and crosses the 50 and has the Maryland first down. 8 yards on the scramble.
We watched the Florida State game. Scott McBrien made some mistakes early in the game on interceptions, but here he does the wise things. He sees the corner collapsing and he picks up the first down.
Not real big at 6 feet, 180 pounds. He's a southpaw and he even throws sidearm, but his teammates have learned that when he scrambles, get out there and help him, and he can pay big dividends. Fakes it to Downs, end around. Harrison, Latrez Harrison inside the 45 down to the 40. It's going to be a gain of 9, and Maryland will look at a 3rd down and short, or 2nd down and short. I beg your pardon. Jabril Wilson making the tackle.
Good job blocking right here. Latrez Harrison coming around on the wingback sweep. Good misdirection action by Maryland.
They're trying to slow down Tennessee's speed, aren't they? And you look for them to do more of this kind of thing, don't you, Mike?
Without a doubt, Ron. They know that Tennessee has the advantage in the speed.
2nd down and short, down to play with. We'll see if they go straight ahead with the run or if maybe play action. Nope, they'll give it straight up the middle. Downs cuts back against the grain, which he is very good at doing. Kenyon Whiteside is there to make the tackle, and both of these runners are very similar as far as Downs and Perry, because they slash and then they cut back on you, Mike. And if you over pursue with the linebackers, you get yourself in a lot of trouble, don't you?
Ron, they do, and then both good backs.
Downs Downs is the lone setback this time. Tennessee moving on defense, and now possibly an audible by McBrien. Wants to throw. Short drop right over the middle. Got it complete. Harrison. Latrez Harrison will take that ball down to the 27-yard line. A gain of 9. Not enough for the first down. But what is happening so far? Maryland playing well ahead of the chains on first down.
Yeah, a lot of times you script the first series, Charlie Taft and Ralph Friedgen, and your players practice that all week so that you have a lot of confidence in the first drive. This looks like a first drive that Maryland just feels really good about.
Yep, you're right. Downs, nothing to tackle, bounces it to the outside, but there's that speed by Tennessee, and he'll be tackled immediately by Jabari Greer. That's 2 tackles in a row for Greer. He, too, very active, just as Julian Battle is over on the other side.
When you look at Maryland's huddle, Ron, here they're huddling about 4 yards from the ball.
Talk about the benefit of that, Mike.
And they want to get to the line of scrimmage with 18 seconds to 20 seconds on the clock. The clock there is 17 seconds, so that the quarterback has time to change the play in a lot of motion.
2 tight ends. Fumble the ball, gives it to Downs. Got the first down. He'll have it down to the 23.5-yard line. Whiteside is there to make the tackle for Tennessee. That was the 8th play of the drive, so this, too, is what Ralph Friedgen would like to see. Ball control, playing in total harmony with his defense.
Yeah, they dropped the ball and still picked up the first down. And, again, you mentioned it early, but Eddie Moore not playing second leading tackler. And when I talked to Charlie Taft, the offensive coordinator, he really talked about 37, Eddie Moore. High praise for him.
At first, they lose his leadership. May sound small, but it's not. It's big James Lynch, the fullback, in motion. Good fake. Pass is delivered and incomplete. Looking for Dugan, the tight end. Maryland crowd wanted pass interference. Also some bumping down the field, and there is a flag down.
I think they're going to get a roughing the passer on Tennessee.
Flag is down back at the 35-yard line.
Maybe on Harrelson, number 98.
Roughing a passer, ball to the head. After distance of goal line, bring it back. Automatic.
Scott McBrien on the counter action throws the ball and then took the hit. And then the Tennessee defensive backs.
Well, but Scooter Monroe getting tangled up there with the battle.
Yeah, talking to him.
Well, the message has been sent as far as Harrelson hitting the quarterback, but the message is also sent with the penalty at its first down. Maryland, 12 yards away. No score, but the Terps on the lip of the cup right here. Option, open side, back to Downs. Has to go by his blocker. Tackle Matt Crawford had to get by him first, and then is stopped at the 11-yard line by Kendrick. Now there are 2 flags down, and up on what would be the top of your screen, out wide on the right, the Maryland receivers and defensive back Julian Battle having a battle.
Yeah, we talked about Julian Battle talking on the last play. He may have got caught here for a personal foul again. That talk turned to action, and he's going to penalize his football team here. Referees right on top of everything early in this football game, not letting this game get out of control.
You could see Offenhusel, who is a team captain, grabbing Battle by the jersey also and saying, hey, you know, quit being selfish and think team.
Yeah, again, they're wishing each other Happy New Year.
I tell you, Mike, he's going to have to be careful now. This is a Big Ten group of officials. You know, they may not take that. They may say, you're out of here. And Phil Fulmer can ill afford to have Julian Battle out of the ball game. Perry, the tailback, replacing Downs. They'll pitch it to Perry. Back into the short side of the field. Oh, he's hit, but he fights forward down to around the 3-yard line. And it's going to be second down and goal.
talked about Julian Battle, and I think Philip Fulmer got him right over the sideline to calm him down. He's going to walk it off over there. Hurt his football team with that penalty.
Jones and Wilson combining on that last stop. 2nd down and goal. Maryland at the line of scrimmage, 3 yards away. This is the 11th play of the drive. It's Fiddler in motion. Pitch to Perry. Back into the short side at the 2, at the 1. Will not score. It's going to be 3rd down and goal, but they are probably about a foot, maybe 2 feet away. Tackled by Omari Hand.
And what you have to worry about if you're Tennessee on defense, John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, is the option down here. They can come with the power and over the top, or they can come down the line with the option. They're about as close as you can get.
About to go under 7 minutes to play, opening quarter. Maryland inside the 1-yard line. Hands it off to the fullback, and Lynch doesn't get in. Lynch does not get in, and the Tennessee fans are up, and they are given a standing ovation. That brings up the 4th down. Kenyon Whiteside is the man who got penetration. You go for it, don't you, Mike?
Yeah, I think you do at this phase right now. Even if you don't make it, you lead the football down here on the half-yard line.
Well, Maryland tried to cross him up by giving it to the 270-pound fullback.
Yeah, I don't think you'll see the fullback carry here.
Perry is the man at the top of the eye, number 1. Perry, no, they fake it to him. He's going to bootleg it. Nobody stayed at home. Touchdown, Maryland. You could see that very determined look on defensive coordinator John Chavis's face. Someone will get a talking to when they come to the bench, because nobody stayed at home and made sure that the quarterback didn't do what he just did to waltz in. Novak, who was first team all-conference in the Atlantic Coast, stands by to attempt the extra point. It's a good pass. Kick is up, and it's good. And Maryland goes on the scoreboard first. 6 minutes left, opening quarter. It is Maryland 7 and Tennessee nothing. Seven to nothing. As Ralph Friedgen talks with his quarterback on the sideline. Mike, look at this drive. 7 minutes, 37 seconds. 13 plays, and, of course, 2 huge penalties.
2 penalties. Tennessee helped keep the drive alive with the 2 15-yard penalties. Now Tennessee has to answer the long drive by Maryland.
Novak with the kick. 3 yards deep. Larkins will return it. 15. He's not going to make the 20. And again, Tennessee is going to open with very, very poor field position. So let's take another timeout. 5:49 as we go to break. One more look at the touchdown. 5:49 left, opening period. Maryland 7-0.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2002 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And in part by Jeep, the most respected, honored, and heroic 4x4s out there. Only in a Jeep 4x4. And by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you.
So welcome back to the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Maryland gets on the board first. That's Witten, the tight end, who Splits out wide to the right side, about 14 yards. Short drop, they go the other direction. Oh, it had that one complete to Montrell Jones, and Montrell may have the first down. Nope, they're going to say he's out of bounds, about a half-yard shy as Foxworth pushed him out of bounds. That's the biggest thing that Tennessee needs to do here. Move the chains a couple of times and get a decent field position to operate offensively.
Yeah, some receiver. Montrell Jones gets his first catch in this football game, but a receiver has to step up with a big play. That's the thing Tennessee lost when they lost Kelly Washington.
There's Kelly on the bench watching his teammates. 5:43 left, opening quarter. With a lot of people stacked at the line of scrimmage, they go to the running play. Houston is going to have the first down. Started at right tackle, cut it back into the middle. E.J. Henderson made the tackle. The first of what probably will be many on the night.
Here's 64, Duffy, right here getting his first chance to play. Does a pretty good job, but gets ridden out of there by the center, Scott Wells. They got two young guys in there, Landon Jones and Justin Duffy, so Tennessee ought to be able to take advantage of that.
Not a lot of starts between those two. In fact, 0. Right at the middle, Houston almost broke it big. Going to be a gain of 5. Leon Joe, one of the inside backers, a junior out of Clinton, Maryland. Very fast. About a 4.6 on him is there to make the stop.
And Ron, one of the jobs of the coaches in the press box is to see the fact that Starks went out.
Yep.
So you got to back up in Duffy, and now you got to back up in Jones from Marion Harding High School.
Second down, Tennessee. They give it to Houston again. Powers his way close to the first down, but he's a yard short as Williams up from the secondary to make the tackle, trying to run off the blocks of Munoz and Respert.
So the answer is, when you got two young guys in there, Jones and Duffy, Williams, the number 10, the safety's got to creep a little closer, and he's got to be the extra defender there to stop the run.
Third down and short. McClure checks into tight end to join Witten. Troy Fleming is the lone setback. They play him at fullback, but he also was a tailback. Scored over 100 touchdowns in high school, did Fleming. And Clausen has to call a timeout. So we'll step aside. 4:10 left to play, opening period. Maryland 7-0. Well, even Smokey can't be enjoying offensively what he has seen so far from his football team. Tennessee rushing 5 carries, 1 yard. They lost 10 yards on their first 2 carries. Third down now, and they need to take it to the 37.5-yard line. Here comes the pitch. Blockers in front, turns it up. Cedric Houston, flag is down. He's going to have the first down, but from where that flag was thrown, that might not be good news.
Looks like a crackback block, Ron.
Medill Williams made the stop for Maryland, and it's going to be holding against the Volunteers. Boy, this is 3 major penalties in the first quarter against Phil Fulmer's ball club. So the way it's been for Tennessee, 1 step forward and many steps back. And the head coach knows that that has to be rectified, and he'll get it done.
You see the blocking right here. Might be the hold right there.
Witten may have had a trip on the thing also. So there were a couple of opportunities. Yeah. Troy Fleming, the lone setback. Third down, Tennessee. Looking. There's the screen. Pressure is on. Great defensive play as it just blows up. Troy Fleming hit immediately by guess who? Butkus Award winner E.J. Henderson.
Sometimes you get trends, and in long yardage situations, you go to the screen, and E.J. Henderson's been watching a lot of tape because he knew this screen was coming. And again, Maryland's going to have good field position.
You're right. Dustin Colquitt waits to kick. And remember what I said a few moments ago. Suter is capable of taking it back at any time. He had 4 returns for touchdowns this year. Beautiful kick. High driving spiral. Suter all the way back to the 28-yard line. And super coverage, Tennessee. Tonight, Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN2 at 10:30. ESPN heads out to the Diamond Walnut San Francisco Bowl. In an offensive showdown, the Air Force Falcons meet Lee Suggs and the Virginia Tech Hokies. More information, log on to ESPN.com.
And I'm sure Bud Foster, the defensive coordinator, is anxious to see how they can stop the option of the Air Force.
Like playing Princeton in basketball.
Better be ready.
You had better be ready.
Downs Forrest with some option. Giving Oregon some fits.
Downs and Perry, the 2 setbacks. And it's going to be Downs. And they're getting positive yardage. Not as much that time on first down. But he's going to be stopped after 2.
Now you get a chance. You felt each other out a little bit. Now the first series is over for Maryland's offense. So now Tennessee's got a better feel for them. As you see, Maryland has been strong in the first quarter all year.
Well, Chris Downs carried the ball. Now he has gone to the sideline, and Bruce Perry checks in. Perry missed as Beal has to go out of the ball game, and still another defensive injury for the Volunteers, which has been the story of 2002. You look at Perry, preseason All-American, preseason All-Conference, missed the first 7 games of the year because of injury. That's when Downs stepped in, and they have had an outstanding year already with 10 victories. Tough sledding here. It's going to be 3 yards. And Reese Davis, let's check back at the studio with you.
Ron, Happy New Year. Another ACC team involved in the Silicon Valley Football Classic. Georgia Tech against Fresno State. A tight game until Rodney Davis busts loose for the Dogs. And Fresno State beats the Yellow Jackets by 9. ACC 2-2 in the postseason so far.
Okay, our situation, the ACC in the early sledding here in Atlanta on top of Tennessee and the SEC, 7-0. 1:37 to play, opening quarter. McBrien, pressure off the corner, gets by the blitz, now throws back across field to Perry. Perry will have the first down and then is tackled hard at the 46-yard line by Jabril Wilson.
Boy, great job by Scott McBrien. Able to duck out of the blitz right here. Shows real good feet as all of a sudden Tennessee comes unblocked. Now he sets up and throws all the way back across to Bruce Perry.
That was Larkins, Mike, who missed him, forced him out of the pocket. But you saw, even on a small quarterback, McBrien really rifled that ball all the way across the field. McBrien is 3 of 3 for 23 yards. Tennessee shows blitz up the middle. Straight ahead with the running play goes to Chris Downs, and he will have about 6 yards in the play. Kenyon Whiteside. Mike, talk about Ralph Friedgen's offense and what makes it so difficult as far as a defensive coordinator.
Ron, they have so much. They run a power game. They run the option. They run 3 different kinds of option games. They run the drop back passing game. They hit you with everything. And what they do is they practice. They never repeat a play. They just get as many plays into practice as they can.
Perry, the lone setback this time as they go with an I formation. And he hands it off to Perry. Dances his way close to the first down. Good second effort, but he gets pushed back by Wilson. Jabril now with a couple of tackles on this series.
And you talk about Ralph Friedgen, and just to finish my thought there is that in a practice session of 2 hours, when you just keep running plays and then you go back and watch them on the tape, and they do a lot of teaching that way. But Charlie Taft, who's the offensive coordinator, may be as good or the best offensive coordinator in the country.
That is the end of the opening quarter. So we'll take a timeout as we head to the second 15. It is Maryland 7 and Smokies Volunteers nothing. 7-0 Maryland, and let's take a look at the ESPN game track. Very simple. One play on a drive that lasted 7 minutes and 37 seconds and 13 plays. And the quarterback, Scott McBrien, takes it into the line as the bootleg. Nobody was at home, and it's touchdown Maryland. Jason Mitchell bit on the play. Back to live action. 3rd down and short from the 44. This is Perry. Cracks his way at right tackle, being pushed back, and I don't know if he got the first down or not. This is going to be very, very close. Tackled by Rashad Baker.
Don't think he got it, Ron. I think he's short.
Whiteside already has 5 tackles for Tennessee. Wilson with 4, and E.J. Henderson with 2 for the University of Maryland. On that tackle just now, Rashad Baker, he injured himself, or was injured in the Mississippi State game. They didn't know how much he was going to play tonight.
That was a big play for Tennessee. Unless they fake this punt, they're going to get the ball back, but that was a key 3rd down stop.
Brooks Bernard stands back to kick. He also was all ACC, so both the place kicker and the punter for Maryland, all conference in the Atlantic Coast Conference, and he skies this one. It's going to go well into the end zone. No way to down it. Well, Wednesday, Capital One Bowl Week concludes on ESPN at 9:30. It is Chris, Lee, and Kurt breaking down all the day's bowl games on a special edition of College Game Day presented by Discover Card. Then at 11, it's the Outback Bowl. Number 20, Florida, taking on number 11, Michigan.
And the Big Ten's been hot, so Michigan gets a chance to improve that record, but Rex Grossman will have a lot to say about that.
How about Purdue coming from way back?
Behind, 17-0.
Well, Casey Clausen and company, their best field position that they've had to start is this right here, their own 20-yard line. Jabari Davis comes in at tailback, and they give it to him. He is more of a hammer back than is Cedric Houston. And Adrian Karsten, injury report from you.
Exactly. You're not going to see number 57 for Maryland, defensive tackle Randy Starks, in the game anymore. Muscle pulled high inside his left leg. Significant run because it leaves Justin Duffy, the freshman who started at nose tackle. I talked about him right after the kickoff. Not completely on his own, but without a lot of help.
Well, Randy Starks only a sophomore, but was highly recruited and really anchors that front, an extremely strong young man, so they will miss his presence. 2nd down and long. Flag comes down. The running play hit at the line of scrimmage and being swung around by Scott Smith, the junior out of Philadelphia, Booker T. Washington. Offside against Maryland. Well, the Terps have not had many miscues in this ball game so far. In fact, that probably is about the first that they've had. First penalty.
Adrian was talking about the Starks injury, but he was the guy that Maryland expected to get the push in the passing game in the pocket on Clausen. Very strong player at 6'4", 302.
Injured on what, the very first play of the ball game. So it's 2nd down and short with the 5-yard penalty. Early going 2nd quarter. Jabari Davis right up the middle, hammers his way, and he'll have the first down. Jabari Davis, not as fast as Houston or Tinsley or Williams, but we saw him against Arkansas with a huge breakaway touchdown that kept them in the ball game, and that one went into 6 overtimes, but he has been a very tough back for defenses to stop.
Ron, the way this game is setting up, Casey Clausen may have the play-action pass here because they opted to run the football here early in the game.
Cedric Houston checks back in a tailback. Clausen got a man over the middle, throws it low, and it's complete at the 44-yard line. C.J. Phaeton, a freshman out of Virginia, beats Virginia. And Clausen a little slow in getting up as he got popped after delivering the pass.
Excellent catch by Phaeton because he had to go down real low and scoop that ball up. Low throw by Casey Clausen, number 17, C.J. Phaeton. Watch him go down. Really get good bend in his body to get that catch.
So first down from their own 45-yard line, trailing 7-0. And we've just gone under 12.5 minutes left in this opening half of the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Draw play. Houston Good job of staying at home there by Leroy Ambush, the linebacker. How about that name for a linebacker? Leroy Ambush, a junior out of Frederick, Maryland, 6'1", 229.
Going after those two tackles, Ron. Justin Duffy and Randy Stark's replacement, Landon Jones. And when you can knock those guys off the line of scrimmage, then you affect the linebackers, and you get on the linebackers. E.J. Henderson.
Houston again, the lone setback. Maryland crowding the line of scrimmage. They come with a blitz. Pass is thrown, and it's intercepted. Overthrew the receiver. Flags all over the place. Jerome Cox coming down the sideline at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, and he will score. 55 yards. And I believe it was Leon Joe who was applying the pressure and caused the mistake on the play. Now let's check the marker and see if it's against Tennessee or if it is against the Terps.
Ineligible receiver on the offense. Penalty refused. Touchdown.
The touchdown stands. How huge is that in the early going of the second quarter that Maryland now jumps out in front?
You always want to go after those quarterbacks when they throw the interception and they get after Casey Clausen.
Leon Joe is the man who was working over Casey. Novak trying to make it a 14-0 game, Maryland. He's got it. So we'll take another timeout. 11:32 left until halftime, and a 55-yard interception return. It's Maryland 14-0. So 14-0. Mike, tell us what happened here.
Cedric Houston's going to run the screen right here, but the ball's going to be way overthrown by Casey Clausen. Pressure comes, and he's surprised real quick. He lost the ball too far for the running back, and Cox intercepts. Here's the pressure. Cox says, oh, and even the umpire can't stop him.
He had to beat 12 people to the end zone. They're now saying officially 54 yards on that interception return by Jerome Cox.
But Tennessee just seems out of sync.
They really do. You see the first interception by Clausen in his last 90 attempts. Here comes the return. Dancing, and there's trouble when you dance. If you can get it straight ahead, they're knocked down at the 10-yard line. Wednesday on ABC at 8:30 Eastern, it's the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Bobby Bowden and the Florida State Seminoles take on the SEC champion Georgia Bulldogs at a battle in the Bayou. That's Wednesday on ABC at 8:30.
Ron, you saw what Fresno did today. They had 6 starters out, and they rallied and beat Georgia Tech. Expect the same thing with Florida State. There's good players there. They'll rally, and they'll play hard for Bobby Bowden.
By the way, here's a note for Maryland fans. Cox's 54-yard interception return. That is a new Maryland Bowl record. Jabari Davis comes back at a tailback. As Tennessee continues to scrimmage from deep in their own territory, it'll be straight ahead. Maryland doesn't have to gamble, though, because they know that Tennessee's going to run the ball. Adrian, what do you got for us, big guy?
I've got nothing behind the Tennessee bench, Ron. Phil Fulmer, during the commercial timeout, went up and down the line of the bench, and there was no reaction. He has more enthusiasm than any player here on this side. And I don't mean to be critical, but it seems immediate, and there just doesn't seem to be any sense of that over here.
Well, they better
stunned.
find a sense of urgency. Yeah, they are stunned, but this is a very, very good Maryland team that bounced back after going 1-2 in their first 3 ball games, won 7 in a row, then were beaten by a good Virginia team, but then knocked off Clemson and NC State. Pass in the flat, got it complete to the 15, and then shoved out of bounds immediately.
Their special teams, Tennessee I'm talking about, has put them in the hole on 3 different occasions. So they had to fight to get out where they get good field position.
10 minutes to play until halftime. Maryland 14-0. You see the field position has just been horrible for Tennessee. Hit, gets away from the sack, and now Clausen delivers the ball and has it complete to a wide open Phaeton. Phaeton hit and tackled at the 36-yard line. It's a gain of 21, and what a job by Clausen to get away from a man who's going over the top of his head, Durand Roundtree.
Yeah, Roundtree comes in, and Gary Blackney couldn't have drawn that up any better, the defensive coordinator of Maryland, to stop Tennessee. And Casey Clausen's ability to get away. He's a pretty good-sized quarterback at 6'4" and 215.
The 36 and first down, straight into the pocket, deep over the middle, got a man, and his tight end Witten overthrown. Denard Wilson had the cover on it, but that vertical route, as big as Witten is at 6'5", 265, he got the game winner on a vertical route much akin to that in the Arkansas 6 overtime game.
Yeah, Denard Wilson looks like he pulled up. He's injured. He's coming off the sideline.
Denard, a junior out of Upper Marlboro, Maryland, 5'11", 186, the starter at strong safety. And Andrew Smith Jr. will come in replacing him, number 23. Play action, swings the pass out, and it's dropped. Derek Tinsley, sophomore out of Marietta, Georgia. We're expecting to see a lot of him tonight. They put him in the slot, catches extremely well normally, and he dropped that one.
Yeah, he needed a net here. But when you look at Tennessee, they're missing passes, their penalties early, the lack of concentration here in the first half.
Well, Denard Wilson comes back into the ball game. Battle continues to sit, and I don't believe he's been back in the ball game, has he? Troy Fleming, the lone setback this time, number 27. Third down, the line to make the 46. Got him over the middle. There's Witten, the tight end. He catches it and will have the first down. Cox making the stop, but it's hard to bring down 265 when they got a full head of steam.
No really big-time wide receiver, so you move your tight end outside. And he's got a big advantage over the 6'1", 190 corner Cox, so because he's 6'5" and 265. And he uses his body here to make the catch. And you see Cox just bounce off of him.
Well, Witten, many people think he's not going to return for his senior year. He told me yesterday at the walkthrough he's going to make up his mind after this bowl game is over. Running play with Jabari Davis. He's close to midfield. Check at Tinsley. And he's tackled by E.J. Henderson.
Well, you talk about Witten. I talked to him also, and I think he's leaning toward out, as you said. And he said the toughest thing will be if this is my last practice and my last game with my teammates, because I love my teammates. And he said, I love Bill Fulmer. He's been very open with me.
So we'll keep an eye on Witten and see when he is able to come back into the lineup.
Yeah, they're going to get an offside here to...
Well, the two youngsters, Duffy and Jones, both jumped offside.
Yeah, if you're going to do it together.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Ron Franklin, Mike Godfrey to Adrian Karsten, coming to you from a sold-out Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia, just a few hours before the peach will fall here in Atlanta. That's the official welcoming of the new year in this city.
Happy New Year. I always wanted to do that.
It's early, Mike. Of course, I guess it is someplace. Soon to be in Nova Scotia. Cedric Houston gets the handoff. Gets by a blitzing defensive back. He'll take it to the 40. E.J. Henderson has just recorded his 5th touchdown of the night. Henderson, against a tough Florida State team, had a team-high 15 tackles against the Seminoles in that loss.
Yeah, he had 19 tackles in his last 2 games. You see, they're not able to get to him, Ron. He's able to stay behind those defensive linemen and remain unblocked. And
when you ask the coaches about him, they say 2 things. Very quiet, good student, leads by example. Short drop by Clausen. Pass is knocked down to, whoa, good heavens, Foxworth now is thinking, why did I knock it down? Why didn't I intercept it?
Dominic Foxworth is 18 years old. Not as strong as he needs to be, but a very good cover corner. He almost picks this off. He read this perfectly. And you're exactly right. He's saying, yeah, I think I could have had that if I'd have just tried to intercept it.
And that would have been a longer return, a new record, as a flag comes down.
Substitution.
Yep, substitution violation against Tennessee.
Prior to the snap, illegal substitution on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
You know, you don't like to see your players throw their arms up like they're confused. And I see some Tennessee guys doing that, players doing that. And that's almost like saying that the blame's not on me. Phil Fulmer trying to yell, get out, before the penalty was called. Randy Sanders, too, not a happy camper either. He's trying to get a timeout.
So with the penalty, it's going to be a 2nd down and 15. This is the 10th play of the drive. Clausen, 5-step drop, got his pass complete. Payton, boy, does he get hit. That's 3 catches for C.J. Payton tonight. And Denard Wilson is the man who put the stick on him.
And Denard Wilson got hurt about 2 plays ago, and he comes back in this football game, and he put some pain on Payton.
You know, Mike, I was looking at some stuff I had in the computer at home. Denard Wilson started at cornerback in the Florida State game. Now they've moved him over to strong safety. And he seems to be maybe a little bit more at home at that safety position.
If that hit is any indication, he's at home. Sweet home.
Payton's got 3 catches, 45 yards for Tennessee. Middle coming in the blitz with Joe. Payton catches this one after going in motion, and he'll have the Tennessee 1st down. So it looks as though a freshman out of Virginia Beach, Virginia, is the man who's going to step up and say, hey, I'll help carry the load. Adrian Karsten, what do you got?
Ron, number 1, Jason Witten, probably the number 1 tight end, or could be the number 1 tight end in America, maybe out of this game. Ankle sprain high up into his right shin. Tough kid. I mean, he doesn't want ice. He doesn't want to retape or anything else, but he's out of the game for now. That means a lot as far as blocking and receiving is concerned for Tennessee.
Boy, that's for sure.
He's in the game right now, I believe, Ron. They can't keep him out.
So on 1st down, they fake the draw play, deliver the pass, and have this one complete to Wade, and Wade's still fighting as he gets down around the 16, maybe the 17-yard line. It's going to be a gain of 8.
Jonathan Wade is one of those young receivers out of Shreveport, Louisiana. 6 catches for the year. Just sits down out there, gets the ball delivered, and tries to pick up all he can pick up. Staying in and blocking. This might be a nice time, Ron, to run up inside now, because you've opened up the passing game. Go at those 2 young defensive tackles.
2nd down and very short. Tinsley in motion. Pass hit at the line of scrimmage and is knocked down, and it's Denard Wilson who was coming up and about to pinch and come on a blitz, and he knocked the pass down at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, 2nd down and short. They figured they'd try to get a big play on the slant, and gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage by Wilson. And again, Gary Blackney's Maryland defense throwing a lot of looks at Tennessee, a lot of blitzes, a lot of action up inside.
14th play of the drive. It all started at the 11-yard line. 3rd down, they still need 2. Pitches it back to Tinsley. Hit behind the line of scrimmage. E.J. Henderson with a buck this kind of play, the award that he won this year, and it's a loss of 6 yards.
There's no way that play should be run to E.J. Henderson. Sitting outside to try to get the toss sweep. There's Witten and missed the block right here because E.J. Henderson came inside and they were a little confused on the blocking scheme.
Well, he blew the whole thing up, and they're going to have to go for the field goal attempt. Alex Walls, who is 11 of 15, his longest 44 this year. This will be an attempt of 38 yards. He missed a few games because of a groin injury, but healthy again. Plenty long enough, and Tennessee on the scoreboard. So we'll take a timeout. 4:46 left until halftime. It is Maryland 14-3. Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Week. It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried and Adrian Karsten in Atlanta, Georgia. And our score 14-3, Maryland leading Tennessee. Although Witten was injured, they couldn't keep him off the field to play. He said, I want to go back into the ball game. Meanwhile, on the other side of the field, E.J. Henderson. We'll check officially. I know he has 6 tackles. And in fact, I think that's what they have him for officially. As Newman prepares to kick it off, Steve Suter, the deep man, standing at the goal line. Very high and very deep, and Suter can't do anything about this one as it bounds out of the back of the end zone. So we'll take a break. 4:41 left until halftime. 11-point lead by the Terps. So we're back. Philip Fulmer, the head coach and also former offensive line coach, and played offensive line at Tennessee. And he's in talking with the tight ends over there. Yeah. They're talking about some defensive schemes that Maryland is running and what they need to do to try to help block it better. Barry, the offensive line coach, was the coach sitting there in the middle. Suter in motion. Play action. Going to go on top, looking for Suter, the speedster, and incomplete as the safety got over in plenty of time to help battle with the cover. Suter is a 4.35 sprinter. As I mentioned, he's got 4 punt returns for touchdown. Yeah, John Chavis knew that when Suter came in the ball game, it's either going to be a reverse or they're going to try to home run you because of the speed. Julian Battle got beat a little bit, but had help from the safety. Did Battle come up lame after that play? We'll keep an eye on him.
Timeout, Tennessee. Second 1.5.
So Tennessee calls a timeout. We'll take the break with them. 4 minutes, 43 seconds left until halftime.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2002 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And in part by Capital One, who asks, what's in your wallet?
So we are back and a good look at New Year's Eve in Atlanta, Georgia. Todd White comes out over the football. The All-Conference center, 6'3", 303, a senior out of Lebanon, Pennsylvania, number 66. Naturally as a guard, but they moved him to center, and he made All-Conference there this year. McBrien delivers the pass, has it complete, hit immediately as Harrison. He took quite a shot, but he makes the catch, and that's enough for the Maryland first down. Rashad Baker is the one who put the hit on him.
Ron, we've already seen as McBrien just throws a quick slant on a checkoff, but we've already seen so many ankle injuries. And we watched that Wisconsin game on a pro surface. When college guys aren't used to playing on this surface, they turn a lot of ankles.
Good point. First down, the ball at the 31.5-yard line. McBrien with an audible. Tennessee showing blitz. And they come off the corner, but they run it the other direction and stood up at the 25-yard line as Chris Downs by Kenyon Whiteside. And Reese, let's check with you back at the studio.
Ron, coming up at halftime on the Dodge Halftime Report, the team from the hometown there in Atlanta had a tough day out on the West Coast. We'll check in at Tempe as we get ready for the national championship game in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. A couple of Sun Devils are headed to the NFL. We'll tell you who. That's all coming up when Trevor Mark join me at the half.
Okay, Reese, second down here. Second at about 6 for Maryland. McBrien looks over the middle, throws that one. He threw it behind his intended receiver, Scooter Monroe.
Scott McBrien, when we saw him against Florida State early in the year, just really caught fire. In the last 10 games, completed 119 out of 201 passing attempts, 14 touchdowns. A little low on that throw.
Third down. They need to take it to the 41.5-yard line. Clock is stopped at 3:26 until halftime. Tennessee fans trying to help out the defense, and that's to Suter. The middle screen, nothing doing. Tennessee's got that one completely sniffed out. Loss of 2, it'll be 4th down.
High throw to Suter, never really got a chance to get back in there and get his feet up under him. Tennessee runs so well on defense.
We talked about the speed that Suter has, but to John Chavis and the Tennessee defense, he is not a surprise. Everywhere he goes, they got at least a couple of people going with him. Bernard's first punt tonight, 45 yards. Mark Jones, the deep man for Tennessee. Beautiful kick. Spiral turning over, lets it go, and now it just bites like a 9-iron, and is going to be touched dead at the 1-yard line. Well, you can see why these two kickers from Maryland are all conference. Boy, he blistered that one. They're going to place it down at the 6. We'll be right back. We are back, and tonight before the game, Chick-fil-A President Dan Cathy presented each school representative a check in the amount of $25,000 for their General Scholarship Fund. The Chick-fil-A Corporation has given over $17 million in scholarships to date. And tonight, the 35th anniversary of this bowl game. There's Bernard. Season long, that kick officially 60 yards. So Tennessee scrimmages from their own 6-yard line. Straight ahead with the handoff, and it's going to be Cedric Houston who will take it to around the 9-yard line. In the Tennessee locker room, what do you try to repair first at halftime as far as the coaches are concerned?
I think you got to talk about the penalties. You got to talk about the interception, the mistakes, and that's the reason we're in the hole right now, because you're down 14-3, and then just play a little bit together a little bit more. When you look at Maryland's got Ralph Friedgen's got to be real happy the way his team's played, because defensively, even without the 2 starting tackles, they have not given up much yardage on the ground to Tennessee.
Tell you what, E.J. Henderson, I think we have him officially for 6 tackles in the first half. He's been all over the lot.
He steps up and meets the fullback and then makes the play on the second play. You see Tennessee can't block him. He moves down the line, so the 2 tackles, young tackles, are doing a good job. And then that play, which was 3rd and 2, that was a big play for Maryland defense.
Winner of the Butkus Award for 2002. By Clausen, looking deep over the middle, double coverage out there though, and incomplete. As Montrell Jones is the guy I was looking for, but running step for step. The defensive backs, Foxworth was there.
You're not going to beat Foxworth too many times now. He even slips right here, but he gets some help out of Williams' safety. Casey Clausen with a fake, looking outside, and then he decides to go for the home run, gets hit.
It was Roundtree who came in and floored him. So it stops the clock. 2:11 left until halftime, and it's third down.
Got Whitten split out.
They go with the running play, not near the first down. Stopped at the 11 by E.J. Henderson. Houston, the ball carrier.
E.J. Henderson's showing you why he is an All-American. They can't block him. Tennessee cannot get to number 42. Slides. The fullback actually ran in. Troy Fleming ran into his guard, so he couldn't block E.J. Henderson.
Well, tonight, Capital One Bowl Week continues on ESPN2. At 10:30, it's the Diamond Walnut San Francisco Bowl. Chance Harrich and the Air Force Falcons battle the Virginia Tech Hokies. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Should be a good game, Ron. Virginia Tech, everybody thinks they're going to rout the Air Force. I believe the Air Force will hang in there. You don't think they will? Well, stay tuned. After Lawrence Welk, you'll be able to watch out.
You probably are right, but we'll see. Colquitt stands about 3 yards deep in the end zone to get this punt away. Suter is the deep man. Maryland coming after him, and he gets it away. Spiral is going to turn over, and he kicked it away from Suter. Actually, a very effective kick. Happy holidays to all the airmen assigned to the Pacific Air Forces watching the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl on AFN, the American Forces Network, including the men and women of the 374th Aeromedical Evacuation Squadron based at Yokota Air Base in Japan. And we thank you for ensuring our sick and wounded receive the best medical care in the world.
Happy New Year to all our servicemen.
A minute 58 seconds left until halftime.
Maryland has one timeout left.
Terps lead it 14-3. Tennessee comes with the blitz, and they pick it up, throw the pass to the tight end, complete to Dugan, and he rolls out of bounds to stop the clock at the 46. Wilson with the cover.
You wonder about Eddie Moore's absence. You talked about leadership. You can't put a number on that. When a guy's your second leading tackler and you're a big play guy on defense and he's not in the lineup, but Stephen Marsh has played well in his place.
Good look at Eddie. The amazing thing about him, he had been so durable, but they did more work on his knee, and he did not respond to it. This would have been his 50th collegiate ball game tonight if he had been able to play. McBrien scrambling, gets outside. 45, 40, and hammered out of bounds just inside the 40. It's a 17-yard run. Jones forced him out of bounds.
I can remember watching him against Florida State making mistake after mistake and still had a pretty good ball game. But here a heads-up play, and it shows you a good move here. And gets outside. He's trying to point to those defensive guys like somebody's going to block you, but he gets out of bounds. Smart play by the junior quarterback, Scott McBrien.
I think Jones was shaken up on that play after knocking the quarterback out of bounds. The training staff has just gotten to him on the sideline. So from the Tennessee 38-yard line, Maryland looking for more points. Right up the middle with the handoff, 5 yards, 6 yards. It's Bruce Perry. Coming up, the Dodge halftime report. Rams Rock, latest on Florette and Diamond Walnut Bowl. That and more on the Dodge halftime report.
Well, before we go to halftime, Tennessee's going to have to stop Maryland because they are not doing a very good job on this series.
117, 116, and counting. Maryland still has one timeout remaining. Here's McBrien looking, being forced out of the pocket. Throws it back over the middle, and it's incomplete at the 23. Veal and Franklin with pressure, forcing him out of the pocket.
sometimes when you're on the run as a quarterback and you see an open receiver late, you just overstride and overthrow it. And that's exactly what Scott McBride did on that play.
He really rifled it, didn't he?
Tried to get the ball to Williams. He was open, but he just couldn't bring his arm and hips and everything together.
Third down, line to make is the Tennessee 28. They set the screen. This is Perry. Puts a head down, not going to have it. Not even close. Stopped at the 31-yard line. Julian Battle is out there to make the tackle. Also Franklin helping out.
Good hit by Julian Battle on the outside. Bruce Perry just got stonewalled on that play. Ralph Friedgen going to use his last timeout, set the screen up. But Julian Battle and a couple of his friends came in there to make a good play.
If they go for the field goal, which it appears that they will, a 48-yard attempt. Novak's longest this year, 51 yards. He's 21 of 25. And he's got 4 field goals that are 50 yards or better. So the range is not a problem.
No, it's inside. Conditions are perfect.
Trying to make it once again a 14-point lead for Maryland. Out of the hole to Brooks Bernard, the punter. Good pass, got distance, and he's got accuracy. Boy, he knocked that through with room to spare, and I mean a lot of room. Yards on the field goal, and in his career from 40 to 49 yards he is 5 of 8, and that also equals a bowl record in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl.
Maryland trying to make amends for last year against Florida. They got routed.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said the speed of the SEC, they can't contend with it. So they came in here to prove a point. They got another half to prove that point, but did a good job here in the first.
All I would say for any Tennessee fans that are not real happy and not looking forward to the second half, I remember Jekyll and Hyde, 2 different halves, LSU and Georgia Tech, about 3 years ago. Do you remember that? Here's the kick. Scott is the deep man, and he'll return it from the 8. Puts a head down and takes it out to the 28.
If you want the edge for Maryland in the first half has been the kicking game. And it's exactly when you look at where Tennessee has started from 20 to 16 to 20 to 11 to 6. That's because of the punt team and the kickoff team. And so Tennessee, which is usually very good in special teams, has been outgunned in the special teams in the first half. And that's been the difference.
It really has. Bernard has punted so well. Novak has place kicked, as you just saw, 48-yard field goal extremely well. 17-3 with 42 seconds left. Clausen looking deep over the middle, got a man wide open, and that is Brown. Tony Brown cuts it back to the middle of the field, inside the 30, and tackled by Henderson. They're going to say he is down at the 27. That's a 44-yard play.
And Ron, Tennessee still has 1 timeout remaining.
Tennessee quickly to the line of scrimmage. Maryland was not even down in 3-point stances, and the ball is thrown and it is knocked away or dropped at the 18. Tennessee wanted pass interference on Cox. Payton, the intended receiver.
I think that was pretty good coverage by from Cox. Just knocked the ball out. You see the good call, bad call. Keith Delisandro had one of those.
Who?
Keith, our guy. Ooh. Bruce Willis.
Mr. NASCAR, yeah.
He had a good call, bad call.
So it's 2nd down and 10. That stopped the clock with 24 ticks left until halftime. Clausen pumped it once under pressure. Going to be sacked by Roundtree. And it was Justin Duffy, the youngster who's making his first start and really playing time, who was underneath and affecting the play.
Well, Justin Duffy, you're going to see him come in here in the middle, right there, number 64. And he got his chance tonight. He's a walk-on, or was on the scout team, not a walk-on, but on the scout team. And Ralph Friedgen kept watching the scout team's defense, and he kept remarking about Duffy. He says, you know, he doesn't do a bad job. Well, they sent somebody home here, and then all of a sudden he gets his first chance to start, and he's doing a remarkable job here in the first half.
That's interesting. I would love to have had a monitor on his heart when he first ran on the field tonight, Mike. Difficult situation. It's a tough position to play, even if you've had months to work on it, like these other guys.
And you're figuring Tennessee's offensive line, which is a pretty good offensive line. He gets his first start against a pretty good group. Tennessee's now out of timeouts with 15 seconds.
Well,
go ahead, Ron.
I was just going to say, this is the 44-yard play that set it up. Tony Brown. Nice job of cutting it back into the middle. And that's the kind of hustle. One of the reasons a guy is named All-American. Henderson made that tackle.
There's Witten on the inside right there, flanking him out, trying to get him against a safety.
Safety blitz is coming on. Quick pass. Got it out there in the flat. Complete. Out of bounds at the 25 is Derek Tinsley. Tackled by Williams. So now only 11 seconds left, and Tennessee's not going to take a chance on another play. They'll bring in the field goal unit. Alex Walls has hit one already tonight, so he is 12 of 16 on the season, made one from 38, and this ball is going to be placed down at the 31-yard line, so a 41-yard attempt. Good pass, plenty of distance, and he missed it wide left. See what you can see. I know that Williams, one of the men that was up there applying pressure. I don't think anybody got a hand on that, though. Do you, Mike?
No. He just yanked it to the left. That's about the way the first half is going for Tennessee.
Yeah, and so Philip Fulmer and his staff, they've got some talking to do at halftime. There's the knee, and we are headed to intermission here in Atlanta. And the Maryland faithful up, and a standing ovation for their ball club as they head to the locker room. Adrian Karsten, let's check with you.
Coach, you need to get more production out of your offense. How do you do it?
Well, we've got to protect the quarterback a little bit better, run the football a little bit better. We've had some plays and been our own worst enemies a couple times early. It's certainly attainable. 17-3 is not unattainable.
What do you tell these guys in the halftime to light a fire in them?
Dan, we got to play better. You know, we just got to go play harder, play better, play more consistent, not give them things. The first drive we gave to them with the penalties, the second drive with the interception or the second score. Got to play better.
Thank you, sir. Ron, I heard all the players from the sideline say we need to play Tennessee football.
So our halftime score, Maryland 17-3 over Tennessee. Now here's Reese Davis with the Dodge halftime report. Reese?
Welcome back to ESPN's presentation of Capital One Bowl Week.
Welcome back back to Atlanta, getting set to start the third quarter, 17-3, and really a dominating first half. But the interesting thing, Mike, and we talk about it from time to time, about how stats lie. And when you look at the stats, Tennessee is well up in the stats, equal in first downs and everything, but it was not a first half that Philip Fulmer was proud of, I can assure you.
No, penalties, they got whipped in special teams, and the interception really turned to a touchdown for Maryland. So Maryland completely outplayed them in the first half.
There are the numbers right there. Tonight's halftime stats brought to you by T. Rowe Price.
You look at the field position starting at the own 17 right there, and then the rushing yardage. Tennessee, 2 young defensive tackles for Maryland, not able to take advantage of that.
And the one Tennessee turnover, officially 54 yards on a interception return by Carone Cox, taking it back in. Philip Newman prepares to kick it off as we get set to start this second half. Suter, the deep man for Maryland. So the second half is underway, and this one's going to be returnable. Suter at the goal line. Suter, 25, and out to the 28. Adrian Karsten, what do you got?
Ron, from the volunteer locker room, they really need to get their passing game going. The problem is they don't have Kelly Washington. Now here is their leading receiver, who we haven't seen since the Alabama game, and that was late October, who accounted for more than 1/3 of their first downs and most of their touchdowns. They've got to find someone, and they tried a couple of different receivers in the first half. But Tennessee really feels if they're going to win this game, they have to pass the ball.
Okay, Adrian. Maryland won the toss to start the ball game tonight. They deferred to the second half. That's the reason they go on offense. Chris Downs is the tailback, and Lynch, the big fullback, opens there as well. Pressure from the backside on McBride. Pass delivered, tipped in, falls harmlessly at the 45-yard line. So Tennessee comes out with some good pressure on the quarterback, forcing the play. Linebacker Stephen Marsh.
Yeah, go back to the offensive huddle of Maryland. That makes Tennessee, we talked about, it gives a quarterback a chance, but all of a sudden the defense has got to get lined up a little quicker and show you what they're going to be in right away. They can't take any chances to disguise, and the quarterback knows what you're in.
Tennessee showing blitz off the corner. We'll see if they come or not. If they back off of it. Short drop, but a quick pass has that one complete at the 35-yard line and out to the 40. Good for the first down, and it's going to be JoJo Walker.
JoJo with a good route. McBride with a good pass, and it looks like Maryland's got a good bead on Tennessee's defensive strategy.
Talking with a couple of people from Tennessee at halftime, and their remark was, Ralph Friedgen's package is so tough and difficult for the defense because he gives you so many different looks.
Checking off right now to the front.
And they'll go with the running play straight ahead. That's number 20, Chris Downs, tackled by Kenyon Whiteside, being shoved back to the 37, but he'll get forward progress to the 44. That's 7 tackles for Whiteside. Wilson had 6, so Whiteside leading Tennessee defensively. E.J. Henderson with 8 stops for Maryland. All are solo tackles and 2 tackles for loss in the first half. So Scott McBride, Mike, since the last time we saw him,
different quarterback.
He really is.
Confidence. He's in the system now. He understands everything. He's doing a great job.
And they simplified some things for him, which obviously have been easier. Looks like he came with another audible here. Second down. Sets deep in the pocket. Now going to step up and run and won't even get back to the line of scrimmage as Jason Mitchell, the freshman out of Abbeville, Tennessee, is there to make the tackle.
When you look at Maryland this season and the 10 wins, they ran the ball very efficiently. When you look at that 241-yard average right there, the games they lost, people stopped them from running, and thus you could throw the football and you got the 6 interceptions. So they've been able to run in this football game.
Third down. The line to make is midfield. Tennessee faithful trying to help out the defense with some more noise. McBrien slings it over the middle, has it complete at the 42 to Latrez Harrison, and the ball is taken away Tennessee. That is Mark Jones.
Need a break sometimes to get your team back in the football game. Latrez Harrison is going to be wide open, gets hit, and coughs up the football, and it bounced like a basketball.
Rashad Baker is the man who caused the fumble and then picked up by Mark Jones. And we'll see, Mike Gottfried, if this is in fact the break that Tennessee needs as they take it over. Best starting position of the night, Maryland 41.
This may be the wake-up call they needed.
Clausen will operate from the shotgun. Got the pass complete at the 36-yard line to Tony Brown. Tony had the 44-yard breakout just before halftime, and Jerome Cox is there to stop him after a short gain.
And Tony Brown's just going to run a quick hitch, and that's almost like a run against Cox, number 30. Now, Cox, when you play opposite Foxworth, who's the best corner on this football team, you're going to get thrown at. So they're going to go at Jerome Cox.
Maryland leads it 17-3.
Big cushion over here again.
Tennessee trying to take advantage of a fumble, and it's Fleming right up the middle. Has 5, has 10. That's the longest run from scrimmage by Tennessee tonight as he'll take it to the 26. E.J. Henderson records the tackle, and he is darn close to double figures in stops already.
Came out in the shotgun, 2 plays, hit him with a draw. Troy Fleming, very good fullback. He's a tailback that's moved to fullback, picks up the first down.
As we mentioned in the first half, Troy Fleming, as Mike said, they use him at fullback some. Tailback in high school, scored over 100 touchdowns.
He can catch the ball too. He was the leading receiver in the Florida and the Miami game.
First down from the 26. Clausen, stop and go, and a miscommunication with his receiver. Tony Brown, you could see he faked the pass, pumped it once, and then wanted to go on top. And I don't know if Brown thought, well, I got held up so much, I'm just going to stop the route.
They've talked at halftime, and they're going to come after Cox. He's up for the challenge right here on Tony Brown. Casey Clausen pumped and then put it too far out for Tony Brown to catch it. But Cox is definitely the target in the second half.
Tinsley checks in a tailback. Quick pass, got a man out there, and he let him just a little too much. That was Montrell Jones that on the cut had gotten in front of Foxworth. The numbers on Clausen tonight, 13-22, 146, and 1 interception that went for a touchdown to Cox.
One number that's good for Casey Clausen is he's 24-6 as a starting quarterback for Tennessee.
3 of 8 on third down conversions for the Volunteers tonight. Safety blitz, right over the middle, got a man open, perfect call for that blitz situation, Tony Brown. First and 10, Tennessee at the 12-yard line, Wilson on the stop.
Tony Brown had a knee injury in the beginning of the year, had 17 catches in the 8 games he played in. Makes a good catch on the short post route. High ball that he brought in against Williams, number 10.
With that vacated area by the safety there, Mike, it was a perfect call for that situation,
and
wasn't it?
A perfect read by Casey Clausen. Knew the safety was out of there.
Brown 3 catches for 63 now. They go with the running play. Back and forth, Tinsley, and still fighting. Ball is loose. Recovered by Maryland at the 6-yard line. Foxworth on the recovery.
When you get started, you just can't turn the football over. Tinsley, see if his knee is, now they stripped the ball. The ball's out.
Denard Wilson is the man who stripped it. So a turnover by Tennessee inside the 10. We'll be right back.
inside.
So the Henderson fumble inside the 10-yard line towards what appeared to be. By the way, this is after the fumble recovery. The ball got knocked up into the hands of Witten, and Witten tosses it back in frustration, saying, get that thing out of here. I want to get on over to the bench. Don't want to think about it right now. Straight ahead with Perry, breaks it open up close to the 15-yard line. That's going to be a gain of about 7, close to 8 yards. Rashad Baker making the tackle.
Bruce Perry getting the start here in the second half in this series. Follows the block of James Lynch and breaks through. His offensive line's done a nice job blocking Tennessee.
Lamar Bryant, the right guard, a very steady performer, a junior out of Clinton, Maryland, had a key block on that play right there. Second down and short. Perry again accelerates, and you can see he's close to the first down. In fact, where the linesman is coming in, they will have enough for the first down. Mitchell and Whiteside combining on the stop.
Ron, the last 2 games that Bruce Perry played, he averaged 6.2 yards per carry. The only thing the coaches were worried about him is game conditions, how long he could go.
You know, one of the things that Ralph Friesen was concerned about in this ball game tonight was the heat in the dome. And when you have a full house, there are a lot of times we got rain in the area tonight. The humidity makes it an even more difficult situation. But Maryland doesn't seem any worse for the wear as they go with the end around, and it's JoJo Walker still dancing across the 20, at the 25, and to the 26-yard line. Finally stopped by Jabari Greer.
Ron, when you look at this formation started out, look how far out he is. That tells you he's trying to split the corner out for the run around the reverse. You always tell your wide receivers, split them out as far as they'll go.
JoJo Walker just continues to move those feet. Almost picked up a first down. Second down and very short. And they go with Perry. Tried to cut back into the middle, and he is going to wind up with a good second effort. He'll have the first down.
Steve Marsh did a good job there as a linebacker, giving up his body on that play.
Good shot inside the Georgia Dome here, just a few hours, not too far from here. The peach will drop, so to speak. The ball falls in New York City at Times Square. Here they drop a peach, obviously, for the Peach State. And we're about 2 hours from that, 2 hours and 10 minutes. That's Derek Miller, the tight end, who came limping off the field. So first down, Maryland. The ball just shy of the 30-yard line. McBrien, play action. Here comes the pressure. Long pass, double coverage, almost intercepted right through the arms of Julian Battle down at the 25-yard line.
Tried to get the ball to Williams, number 19, on the post route.
You know who they have not been able to get into the offense, which really surprises me tonight, is the speedster, Steve Suter, number 34, because he obviously is a big play guy. But every time he's touched the ball, there's been a lot of orange around him.
They also know that he's a big play guy.
Well, he has one catch tonight for -2 yards.
Screen.
Well, there comes an audible as Tennessee comes up tight outside, and they bring pressure from there. Got single coverage on the outside. A push, and the pass is caught by Harrison. And let's see if there is a marker down, because Harrison really looked as though he pushed off on the defensive back.
Against Julian Battle, and Julian Battle's having one of those kind of nights. But Trez Harrison's going to run by him on the fade route. Scott McBrien throws that ball right there. He got away with a push.
If he really did. That's good for 36 yards. And it'll be first down at the 34. Tennessee's got to get set. Maryland already at the line of scrimmage. Perry and Chris Downs in the backfield as they go from the shotgun. pitch goes to Perry. Pressure coming off the blitz. A good play by Jason Mitchell. You could see him coming off the corner. He retreated and got back into the short side of the field to make the stop.
Well, Jason Mitchell has a tough assignment on this play, because once that ball's out there, now he's got to tackle in space Bruce Perry. Bruce Perry kind of got stopped up there, and maybe tennis shoes got caught in this turf or something because he couldn't move.
It's a -7 on the play. 2nd down and 17.
Tennessee getting a timeout again. Didn't have enough guys, or the right guys, on the field.
So we'll take a break. 17-3. Maryland continues to lead. We'll be right back. 7 minutes, 41 seconds left, third quarter. Maryland continues to lead by 14. Tennessee used that timeout. We're at the midway point of this third quarter. And in case you have just joined us or rejoined us, Tennessee got a fumble recovery and marched it all the way down inside the 10. Tinsley fumbled, and that's where this drive started for Maryland. At the 6-yard line. McBride right over the middle. Receiver JoJo Walker had to wait on the ball for a moment, then fights his way forward, and he's going to take it down to the 26. Good for 15 yards.
And JoJo Walker really ran out of the tackle. He should have been stopped 5 yards shorter than what he gained. You're going to see the missed tackle right here. He just kept his feet, got his hand down, and picked up 5 more yards.
Like we are told that Derek Miller, the backup tight end, there he is being taken by Cart. You can see the bandage, right ankle.
This turf
taking its toll, hasn't it? It is 3rd down. They need to take it to the 24-yard line. McBride got it knocked down right over the middle. Had a receiver open, but he threw it just a smidge behind him.
Jason Mitchell had a chance. This ball hits him in the hands. Here's the pressure. McBride's going to get hit.
It was Whiteside who came and hit him. Yeah.
Ball should have been picked off.
So Nick Novak, the sophomore out of Charlottesville, Virginia, comes on to attempt the field goal. 22 of 26 on the season. He hit the long one earlier tonight, the one from 48. This will be a 44-yard attempt. Distance on this one, and he's got it. We'll take a break with the new score. Maryland at 20 and Tennessee
3. ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2002 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Brought to you by Ford. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough. By T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. And by the United States Army, an army of one.
We are back in Atlanta, Georgia. As you look at the new score, 20-3. Ralph Friedgen just took a long walk down the sideline, leaving his offense and going down to talk with the defensive unit, which prepares to go on the field. And he was trying to pep them up, saying, okay, we still got a lot of football left to play. Keep going at the pace you've been going at. Leonard Scott, the deep man for the Tennessee Volunteers, waiting to take the kick from Nick Novak. From the 2. Scott gets by 2 tacklers, breaks it to the outside. At the 30, here comes a flag in. He's out of bounds at the 37. Novak, the kicker, is the man who made the tackle. Maryland has a player down back at the 17-yard line, and it's a hold against the Volunteers. And again, Mike, they will take over with horrible field position.
Yeah, bad holding call by Tennessee. Who was being held was Rich Parson, a wide receiver on the kicking team.
Hegler is the man who is down.
Here's the hold. We're going to see it right here. And as you said, we're going to start from about 14.
reminder, Wednesday, Capital One Bowl Week concludes on ESPN at 9:30 a.m. It's a special edition of College Game Day presented by Discover Card. Then at 11, it's the Outback Bowl. Rex Grossman and the Florida Gators taking on John Navarre and the Michigan Wolverines.
Ron, I really think Rex Grossman hasn't announced yet, but I believe he'll be back next fall. And he's got 4 junior college offensive linemen coming in to help protect him a little bit. And Florida, from all indications, is really leading the state of Florida in recruiting.
You know, I thought that Ron Zook made a very good hire this past week as well. Charlie Strong, the outstanding defensive coordinator, moving over from South Carolina. And I can't help but think that that could turn into a very good marriage there in Gainesville. Yeah, and John Thompson, who is the defensive coordinator, moves over to East Carolina, gets a head coaching job there. So, and he takes Jerry Odom, a linebacker coach. So that opens up another position on the Florida staff. Well, it's good to see that Hagler now is being helped up. But the youngster, it's a leg injury, and you can see he is really hobbling. He can't put any weight on that at all. It comes into the play right there. Got hit by his teammate, and that's when the leg was injured. So they're having to carry him off, and he's holding that left ankle extremely high. Doesn't want it to come close to touching the turf. James Lynch was the player that collided with him. So here comes Tennessee. Clausen on first down. Gets the pass. They set screen out in the flat to Jonathan Wade, trying to break him free, and he'll fight enough for the first down. That'll be a gain of about 13 yards as Foxworth will get credit for the tackle. Yeah, Tennessee mistakes tonight. 2 turnovers. The interception by Casey Clausen went back for a touchdown. 5 penalties. 2 on the first drive that helped Maryland go right down the field and scored, and then a missed 41-yard field goal. When you look for momentum at the halftime, they missed the field goal. So they go in at halftime with no momentum. When Philip talked with Adrian just before halftime, the frustration just was ringing out in his voice. Here they come with Wade again, and nice job by Maryland to smell that one out after a gain of 4. You know, the other point here, when you look at this crowd, all you see is orange. Now there is some red, Maryland red on the left of us, but this crowd has been taken out of the game. We talked about it, should have been a home game for Tennessee because they got the crowd, but the ball club just has not got the crowd in the game. Yeah, particularly on the 14th point after the Jerome Cox 54-yard interception return for a touchdown. They really became silent. Cedric Houston, the tailback, but they put it in the air. They're trying to, and Clausen's going to be sacked at the 28 by E.J. Henderson. Yeah, he's showing you why he's an All-American. 10 tackles in the ball. He does everything. He takes on the lead draw, then he comes on the pass rush and makes the play and beats the offensive guard, Jason Respert. I believe that is 3 tackles for a loss as well, with the 10 total that he has. Forced the fumble also. 3rd down Tennessee. They need the 36.5-yard line to keep the drive going. Maryland comes with a blitz right at the middle. Pressure is on. It's Henderson again. E.J. Henderson, winner of the Butkus Award this year. 11 tackles, and we still have just over 4 minutes to play 3rd quarter. And the Bengals are on the clock right now. They may be looking at E.J. Henderson. E.J. Henderson, little stunt to the left side. Casey Clausen sees him, but can't get rid of the football. You talked about how smart he is. Graduated in 4 years. 4th time that Tennessee has had to punt tonight. Colquitt waits for the snap back at the 7, and Suter is the man deep. They've got the return on. Very high kick and very deep. Suter all the way back to the 21-yard line. Breaks the first tackle, will not get by the second, and is stopped at the 32 by Jason Witten. 57 on the punt and 1 on the return. 3:56 left in the third.
Back in Atlanta. minute for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. The quarterback for Maryland, number 17, Hagler. Thank you, Ron. Just left the field with a probable broken left ankle. He will not be back in the game. Not a terribly significant injury to the Maryland defensive backfield, but again, it's one of those things where if Tennessee, as I said, at the half wants to win this game, they're going to have to throw the ball, and that might give them an opportunity.
Okay, Adrian. Chris Downs checks into the lineup at tailback. Harrison in motion, looks straight ahead with the ball, and they'll take it out to around the 37-yard line. Ralph Friedgen, I'm sure, on this drive right here, would probably like to have about a 14-play drive and all of them runs just to take time off the clock.
Well, we just look at that first down play. You pick up 5 yards. You like to pick up 4+ on first down. That gives you a lot of options on second and third down.
Chris Downs, right side, and close to picking up another first down. He's going to be tackled about 2 yards short. Jason Mitchell defensively for Tennessee.
And Chris Downs is a great story because all the young players that are watching tonight, he was 4th string, thought about transferring, got hot, fumbled the ball, didn't have any confidence, and all of a sudden about the 4th game, he became the guy. And he's the reason Maryland's in the Peach Bowl.
Yeah, no question. He's the reason for that 7-game winning streak. Perry was down for the first 7 games. Downs tonight, 11 carries, 31 yards. Pitch back. Downs hurdles a man at the line of scrimmage. He'll have the first down. Not a long rush, about the same average he's been getting tonight, but he jumped right over the top of Dickerson, Mondre Dickerson, and he will move the chains for Maryland.
He came into the year with 4 carries, 14 yards, and he's out.
Might have hurt himself, Mike.
15 TDs this season, so it tells you a little bit about what kind of year he has had.
When he went
off the sideline, yeah.
I'm sorry. When he went jumping over the top on that hard surface, might have knocked the wind out of himself. So that means the number 1, Bruce Perry, will check back into the lineup. The junior out of Philadelphia. It's Perry. Bounces it outside in the right. Boy, he was about a step from breaking that thing for another 10-yard run. But they're picking up 4 and 5 yards on their running plays now as Marsh makes the tackle, and we're under 2 minutes left in the third.
Well, you remember the Alabama game. Alabama ran the ball against Tennessee. Now, this is probably the best job I've seen running the ball against Tennessee other than Alabama and Miami.
Well, the man standing there on the sideline, for those of you that are not regular Tennessee viewers, that's Eddie Moore. He's a senior and also a captain. And the first time in 50 games of his collegiate career, I'm not able to play tonight because of a knee injury. Pitch back, Perry, head of steam, look out. Comes back against the grain. He really took a shot at the 40-yard line, but he'll have the first down after a gain of 11.
One thing Tennessee is doing is they're saying to Scott McBride, you want to run the option, we're going to punish you. And here's the hit by Jason Mitchell on McBride, so he's always got to pitch the ball on the option. They're taking him right away.
Rushing yardage tonight, Maryland 113, Tennessee 28. About to go under 60 seconds left, third quarter. No flag. I thought we had a leave early on the wide receiver to the near side.
Talking about the injuries, Ron, that Tennessee has sustained this year.
Roughing the passer, I believe, Mike. I'm sorry, go ahead with
Constantine Richmond, who was a defensive end that they figured was going to be the big play guy. Kevin Burnett, Kevin Simon, a great linebacker for them. Add Eddie Moore and the big-time receiver that they had, Kelly Washington.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on an defense. 15-yard penalty, 3-5.
Well,
another mistake by Tennessee.
As you look at it, and it's Harrelson, Paris Harrison. Isn't that the second one that he has tonight?
See, as he comes in there, he holds his hands up and he belts him with a helmet.
Well, that
It's like, excuse me, I'm going to hit you.
Third personal foul on Tennessee to keep drives alive that happened deep in Tennessee territory. First down, new line of scrimmage, 26. Quarterback draw, got blockers in front, and he's going to take it to the 23, tackled by Mitchell.
I think he was supposed to give the ball to Bruce Perry on that play. Yeah, Bruce Perry's looking at him like, hey, you missed me. And Bruce Perry blocks.
You can tell what a good veteran player. Yeah, Perry said, okay, I don't have the ball. I'll take up for my teammate here.
Well, long drives. Maryland just putting this clock to sleep. Putting the crowd to sleep, too, the Tennessee fans.
Maybe the television audience as well. 17 seconds, down to 16. Could be the last play of the third quarter. And they go right at the middle with Perry. Inside the 20, puts a head down. It'll be 1 yard short of the first down. And we'll tell you what they're going to do to try to pick it up in just a moment, because we're going to take a timeout. That is the end of the third quarter. And as we head to the final 15, Maryland 20 and Tennessee 3. Welcome back to Capital One Bowl Week. It's the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Ron Franklin along with Mike Gottfried and Adrian Carson in Atlanta, Georgia, and our score 20-3 as we head into the fourth quarter. Tennessee rushing. Season low was 59 against Alabama. Mike, going into the fourth quarter, they had but 28 rushing yards.
And that's against two young defensive tackles. They are not able to move the football. They got a big third down here if they want to win this football game. They got to stop Maryland.
Maryland needs to take it just inside the 16-yard line. And they go option back into the boundary. McBrien will keep it. He'll have the first down, plus about 4 more yards, tackled by Whiteside.
Yeah, that's what makes Maryland so dangerous. They can run the power game at you and then come with McBrien on the option. Now they load it up right here. You remember that they were hitting the quarterback, and all of a sudden Ralph Friedgen and Charlie Taft make a change. They go to the tight end side. They block the guy that was supposed to take McBrien. Good adjustment by Maryland.
So it's first down. The new line of scrimmage is the 12-yard line. 9 plays so far on this drive at almost 60 yards. Perry puts his head down. He'll take it to the 10-yard line. Still fighting, maybe inside the 10 by just a bit.
Ron, you go back to the Maryland season. They started 1-2. They lost to Notre Dame 22-0. They beat Akron, and then they lost to Florida State, the game we had, and then they caught fire.
7 straight
9
wins.
out of 10.
9 of their last 10. Virginia, the only team to beat them. And even as we came down into bowl season, we have found out that to lose to Virginia is not a great sin. Al Groh is doing a heck of a job up there in Charlottesville.
Got a young team.
Second down, they need to take it to the 2-yard line to pick up the first down. Leading 20-3. Perry's going to go down to the 6. Rashad Baker making the tackle. You know, Baker made that stop. I'd like to get a shot of him if we can, guys, because he is an interesting story. He was injured against Mississippi State, but you see the visor that he wears. You have to get permission from the NCAA to have a visor that is tinted. And you go back to when he was 12 years old, he got hit in the eye with a ball, and he has blurred vision. So it's not just to protect the eye, but also to cut down on the glare. He's got 6 tackles tonight. Chris Downs comes into the lineup at tailback. He's the lone setback for the Terps. Option, McBrien. He'll walk it in. Touchdown, Maryland. Tell you somebody else I want to give credit to. This offensive line we talked about, White, the center, first-team all-conference. Crawford, the right tackle, first-team all-conference. Bryan, the right guard, second-team all-conference. And Brooks, second-team all-conference, the left guard. And this offensive line has played like they have high-caliber players.
You know who made a good block on that play besides your offensive line? Jeff Dugan, the tight end. And again, it goes back to the Tennessee was hitting the quarterback with the defensive end. So what does Maryland do? They put the tight end out there and they blow the thing up, and Dugan blocks number 91 Omar Hand, and McBrien walks in. So that's Charlie Taft, the offensive coordinator.
11 plays, 62 yards, 5:37 off the clock. Novak knocks this one home. So with 12 minutes and 55 seconds left in the ball game, we will take a break. And our new score as we go to break, looking at McBrien scoring on the keeper. Maryland 27 and Tennessee 3. And we are back. Some of the Maryland faithful there, and all their cards say good call. Situation in this one, Maryland now has pulled away to a 27-3 lead. Any more team captain and linebacker unable to go?
Yeah, you mentioned early, Ron, that leadership off the field. You can take his 107 tackles off the field, but you also take the leadership, the poise.
And you can tell by the expression on his face, it's killing him to have to stand over there on the sideline. Very wisely, Scott goes down on a knee, and they'll scrimmage from the 20.
Ron, all night when Maryland's run the option, the defensive end has come down and really cleaned Scott McBrien's clock. Here they come down, they hit him all night. So what does Charlie Taft do? He puts a tight end over there and he blocks the defensive end and loads up the option, and McBrien walks in the end zone. That's a great adjustment by Maryland.
Yeah, it is, Mike. That's a good observation on your part. 12:49 left in the ball game. Troy Fleming, the lone setback. Tennessee got to get something going here, or they're going to get embarrassed in this 2002 Peach Bowl. Clausen steps up into the pocket. He's going to run. Crosses the 30, wisely slides down after he picks up the first down. Joe and Henderson both there ready to make the tackle. And Tennessee will go no huddle.
Adrian talked about they wanted to pick up the pace, and now they're behind 24 points. They got to choose now.
Flag is down. I'm not sure they had enough men on the line of scrimmage. Pass is complete at the 38.
If that's the penalty right here, that shows a lot, because on the previous play, Casey Clausen faked the running play, and the running back was gone. He was so they're making so many mistakes, not concentrating. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. And it's like a typewriter. They're all not going at the same time. And Philip Fulmer really frustrated because he's put the time in. He's worked in the game plan. He felt like his team was going to perform tonight, and they have just fallen apart.
7 penalties for 63 yards. But the frustration on the part of the head coach, very obvious. And
boy, that's a long time there. 1957, Ron, you were 3 years old back then.
If I've been frozen for about 12 years. Clausen, good protection, got it over the middle, has it complete at the 40-yard line, and that's going to be Payton again.
Maryland doing a good job of stripping the football. Ralph Regent's trying to come out on the field, but a good job by the official. This officiating crew's done a nice job tonight. Ralph is frustrated. He wants more points. Wants to get his offense back out there. Do a good job of stripping the ball. Anytime Maryland tackles, they're always reaching for that football.
Second down and short, about 1.5 yards to get the first. And straight ahead. And they will have the first down at the 43 as Troy Fleming, the junior out of Franklin, Tennessee, picks it up. Ambush on the tackle. Ambush.
Don't you get the feeling, everything Tennessee's doing is coming hard. It's difficult. I mean, it's not crisp.
Lawson's pass is caught at the 42-yard line for the first down. Montrell Jones.
That was crisp.
16 yards in that pass play.
Ineligible receiver downfield, or what? There's a flag on.
Illegal substitution on the defense.
The defense, okay.
The 12th men on the field did not get off the field on time. Penalty decline. Result of the play, first down.
so. The ball will be spotted at the 41-yard line of Maryland.
The other thing Maryland's done tonight, they haven't given up the easy touchdown.
Casey Clausen, Jr. out of Northridge, California. Saw his dad Jim here yesterday at the walkthrough. Of course, his younger brother, a lefty, plays down at LSU as a quarterback as well.
How about him for a father now? He's living everybody's dream. He's got 2 kids in the SEC.
Isn't that the truth? Clausen's pass. That's Witten in the flat. Gets by a tackle. Going to have the first down as he steps out of bounds just inside the 30-yard line.
And Philip Fulmer wants another 15 yards tacked onto that, but not going to get it. Jason Witten shows you what a good athlete he is. Sidestepping Leon Joe. Yep. Leon.
Well, besides the fact that he's out of bounds, I don't like where the tackle comes. And you watch it, he's shooting for the legs, and I just never have thought that was real cool in this game. Madieu Williams is the man who made the play. It is first down at the 29. Clausen from the shotgun throws it complete, and it's Tony Brown, and he'll take it to the 21. Bernard Wilson put the stop on him. Now this is the best looking drive that Tennessee has put together tonight, as they have moved it right down the field. We're under 11 minutes to play.
They knew Bill Bunnell put that graphic up that they had last time they didn't score a touchdown was 1957.
In the flat, got it complete. He had enough for the first down and then gets shoved back. It's Tony Brown, and yeah, they give him forward progress to the 22. Clausen now has hit 7 passes in a row.
Our crew's right on it. That's Kathy Kappas put that graphic up, and Casey Clausen trying to get him in the end zone, but the field shrinks a little bit now right here, and Maryland's done a good job not allowing anything over their head.
Cedric Houston, the lone setback, sophomore out of Clarendon, Arkansas. Clausen's pass, tipped, incomplete at the 2-yard line, knocked away Foxworth, trying to get to Phaeton.
I like Foxworth, Ron. I'll tell you what, now he has a good defensive back for Maryland. 5 interceptions this year, a good cover corner. May have got there a little early, got away with it.
Really good athlete. He does need to put on a few pounds, though.
He will. In the weight room, they'll get him. He'll be stronger next year. This is a team that the ACC is going to have to contend with. Only 10 seniors.
Second down. Here comes Maryland with the blitz. Clausen steps up into the pocket, going to try to run it, and is tackled at the 10 or the 15-yard line. Cochran making the stop.
Casey Clausen's pocket just collapses right here. E.J. Henderson right in his face. He steps out. He's seen 42 enough tonight.
I'm sure that coaching staff on the sideline feels the same way. Under 10 minutes left in the ball game. Tennessee trying to score its first touchdown of the night. Here comes the blitz right up the middle. Clausen running for his life and is going to be sacked as a shoe comes off at the 23 by Leon Joe. 5 times that they've gotten to Clausen tonight.
Brought the blitz in the A gap, which is a center guard gap. Both linebackers come right up inside. And Leon Joe finally makes the hit. Ron, we got to give credit to old Justin Duffy. Justin Duffy has filled in that defensive tackle role and done a great job. All scout teamers are happy.
Well, I ask you a New Year's Eve question. Can you argue with a Holstein? No. SportsCenter is next.
Eat more chicken.
4th down. And trailing in the ball game 27-3. Tennessee, of course, will go for it.
Got Witten on the backside now, one-on-one, just what they want.
Henderson coming on the blitz. Clausen steps up, and that ball got tipped. Trying to get the ball to C.J. Phaeton.
As I said, this field has shrunk, and Tennessee not able to complete the drive against this Maryland defense.
Looked like Henderson is the man who got a hand on it. Let's see if he did get a little piece of it, Mike. Yep, it is. It's Henderson. Got his left hand on it.
He's everywhere. Henderson and Duffy.
11 plays, 57 yards, 3 minutes and 40 seconds off the clock, and no points.
Fiddler's coming into the game. Bernie Fiddler.
Yeah, going to have
fullback.
Two fullbacks in there. Well, some folks have seen enough.
They're going to eat some chicken.
So we'll take a timeout. 9:08 left in the ball game. Maryland by 24.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2002 Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, presented by Chick-fil-A. We didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. And in part by Chrysler. Drive equals love.
So we are back in Atlanta about an hour and 25 minutes before the Big Peach drops, meaning 2003 enters. And the situation here, Tennessee misses on fourth down as E.J. Henderson makes still another contribution for his football team, tipping the pass at the line of scrimmage. And it'll be Maryland taking over the football at the 24. Chris Downs lines up a tailback, and I would imagine it will be see Chris run. And that's what it is right here. He's hit the line of scrimmage, maybe a gain of 1. Friedgen would just like to put that clock on fast forward and get out of here. Stephen Marsh making the tackle. E.J. Henderson. 11 tackles, 4 tackles for a loss, and a tip pass. Play action. McBrien stops, drills the pass, tipped in the air, incomplete. And Melendez couldn't hold on to it. Wednesday, Capital One Bowl Week concludes on ESPN at 9:30 a.m. It's a special edition of College Game Day presented by Discover Card. Then at 11, it's the Outback. It'll be Florida taking on Michigan.
Yeah, battle of quarterbacks. John Navarre, 20 touchdown passes this year for the Wolverines. Scott McBrien really sprinting to the right, got his feet set, everything perfect.
He really drilled that thing. Yeah. Melendez couldn't hold on to it. Melendez, a freshman out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Swings this one out, and the big fella, James Lynch, can't hold on to it. James is a junior out of Washington at Dunbar High School, 5'11", 271 pounds. And you know, interesting number on him. Of all the, if you like trivia, James has carried the ball 48 times in his career. He has never been stopped for a loss.
No, and Ron, he is a good blocker. When you have tailbacks as good as Downs and Perry, there's a reason. Offensive line to fullback.
Brooks Bernard waiting for the snap to get this punt away from back at the 10-yard line. And Leonard Scott, the deep man for Tennessee. His worst kick of the night. Wobbly spiral. And it's going to bound inside the 30-yard line and then go out of bounds. So we'll take a timeout. 8:04 left in the ball game after a 46. And as we come back, would like to recognize Denny Friend, tonight's field judge. He is retiring tonight after 20 years as a Big Ten official. Best of luck to him and a happy new year. Situation 8:04 left in the ball game. Tennessee still huddling on the far sideline. Cedric Houston on the draw play. Breaks it out, has 5 yards. Take it out to about an 8-yard gain. Leon Joe making the tackle for Maryland.
Landon Jones again getting a little rest now. Duffy's back in the ball game. Has stayed in the game most of the whole night.
Got that pass to Witten, and the tight end will have the first down at the 45 before E.J. Henderson comes over to make the tackle on him.
And those guys will be meeting in the next league too. E.J. Henderson and Jason Witten, 2 sure bets to play on pro football.
Witten, 2 passes in a row, has it complete. This is not going to be for any gain. Jerome Cox out there to make the tackle on the big fella. Witten almost went to Michigan. Lloyd Carr really thought he had him, and Jason said, I knew they were going to make a defensive, they're going to make an offensive player out of me. I wanted to be a defensive player. So he's at Tennessee less than a year, and he gets called to the head coach's office, and guess what? Tennessee made him a tight end as well. In and out of the hands, the receiver fought that one. There was Chris Hannon. But I have a feeling he's happy he went to the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, he's shown some toughness tonight. Adrian talked about he hurt his ankle, and
but he went back in without Coach Sanders knowing he was reporting it.
Randy Sanders said you're going to be out, and he ran right back on the field. Showed toughness. Wanted to be back on this field, which is probably his last game in a Tennessee uniform.
Under 7 minutes to play in the ball game. Pressure from the outside. Pass is a little too tall at the 40-yard line. With all the throwing now, the clock stopping on every snap. Leonard Scott was the intended receiver.
Casey Clausen tonight has looked a little rusty. Injured, missed a couple of ball games during the year. Georgia, Mississippi State games. Has 48 touchdown passes, only second to Peyton Manning, so has been held in check by the Maryland defense.
Dustin Colquitt stands to get the snap on the punt. Tennessee had to take a timeout.
Not enough men on the field.
Well, tonight's player of the game is brought to you by Capital One. And there he is right there. I don't think it's a great surprise. 12 tackles, 4 for a loss, 2 sacks, forced fumble, and a tip pass. And Mike, talk about what he's done.
Well, he takes on the fullback there and makes the tackle, skates down the line of scrimmage, hits Houston in the back, skates down the line of scrimmage, makes another tackle, comes from the outside. That was a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 2. Sacks Casey Clausen. He's been all over the field.
Very quiet young man. Here are his awards over the last 2 seasons. The Butkus Award this year, a Bednarik Award winner this year, 2-time first-team All-American, 2-time All-ACC Defensive Player of the Year, and the 2001 ACC Player of the Year. E.J. Henderson, just hard to replace guys like that.
And he stayed this extra year because he had a bad back, but he still wanted to stay and be around for this season in Maryland.
Suter gathers this one in at the 6-yard line, gets up the sideline and hang on. Ooh, this would be the coup de grace. Suter gets by one tackle, gets by another, still on his feet. What an effort by Suter to the 14-yard line. That is highlight film from now until at Maryland. Good heavens, what an effort. 79 yards. He finally saved the touchdown.
Ron, he shows the explosiveness that the coaches know about. John Chavis, the defensive coordinator, he jumps over tackle, skates by somebody, keeps his feet moving, and finally is brought down.
See, that's Colquitt. That's the punter. Destin trying to knock him off his feet, and Suter was ready for that. 4.35 is the best that he's been timed at. And as we said, he has 4 touchdown returns for touchdown this year. Punt returns for touchdown. 79 yards on that one. Chris Downs will take it for a couple. Coming up next, it's Sports Center. John Anderson. Let's go bowling. Claret, OSU at odds. Packers hoping to heal. Suter, they're putting a towel on the back of his neck there. That's a Peach Bowl record. 79 yards. Back on the field of play, 2nd down and 9. Well, that's Downs taking the ball almost to the 10. Right now, the Maryland fans doing something they shouldn't do.
No.
They are chanting SEC as if to say doesn't mean much to us, but
they did last year. They got thumped, but they came back this year to prove a point.
And they did. They did in a big way. But best thing, let a sleeping dog lie. There are the trophies.
Them again next year.
Yeah, that's right.
Chick-fil-A. Gary Stokan does a nice job here. Truett Cathy, owner of Chick-fil-A.
Well, Smokey is restless, not happy over this effort tonight, obviously. Well, they give it to the big fullback, and James Lynch again keeps that record intact, is not thrown for a loss. He's going to have about 2, maybe 3 yards as he goes straight ahead.
Back-to-back 10-win seasons. And I believe that this football team's got a lot of youth. Next year they're going to be back for more.
So Novak is going to come in and attempt his 3rd field goal of the night. Got to get one more person on the field here. Big Stephen Heyer, a freshman from Lawrenceville, Georgia, number 70. And they're going to call a timeout. He's made them from 48 and also 44 tonight. Well, Jim Donnan on the left, Dave Ryan on the right, ESPN Radio. And a reminder that this crew will be in Tempe for the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl in what is that, Friday night?
Yeah.
It's coming Friday night. Mike Adrian and I will travel out there west. This will be the 5th year that we will have done the national championship game on radio, and it's always a lot of fun to do that on ESPN Radio.
You know, I was circling Jim Donnan's glasses there. He's got his glasses up.
4:16 left in the ball game. .25-yard attempt. From this range, he's 17 of 19 in his career. Gets a good one, and he knocks it right through there. So McBrien has really ignited his offense tonight. Novak with his 3rd field goal. But Scott McBrien has been the guy pulling the trigger and doing it accurately.
Ron, you're right. He's made all the right decisions. The first touchdown with a play fake up inside. Good decision here. It beats the blitz. Throws back across to Bruce Perry. Scrambles. Picks up the 1st down. Took some hits on the option when they brought the ends down. Runs a loaded option here and walks in the end zone. Scott McBride. And that's what I give Charlie Taft a lot of credit for this, because the offensive coordinator stayed with Scott McBride. They were 1 and 2. They could have changed quarterbacks, stayed with him. He got better, learned the system, and the results are Maryland is a winning program.
Casey Clausen, rough night. Finally got over an injury-riddled season, collarbone, then a foot, and not his best outing by any means, but very resilient young man, and we'll see him again next year playing a whole lot better than he did this evening. This kick return, good coverage. Won't make it back to the 15 is Leonard Scott.
Biggest thing Tennessee's got to find big play wide receivers, because they don't have anybody on the outside that's going to scare anybody. This guy did.
Sports Center coming up next, and that shot will be on there, I'm sure, is Ralph. Takes a lot of water to cover Ralph.
Yeah, but it's inside. Now he gets the benefit of being inside. Good temperature here.
I guarantee you, he loved every drop of it. Hugs for everybody. That's cannot give him too much credit. Last year's National Coach of the Year started off, as Mike said, 1 and 2, and then just continued to rebound. Maryland people have got to be extremely excited about having him as their head coach, as Witten catches that pass and takes it close to another first down.
You know, my Coach of the Year this year, Larry Coker, lost a lot of players on his football team last year. Lost the entire offensive line except the center. Lost all his defensive backs, and he's playing in the championship again. So I don't buy that when you're in Miami. You can't be the Coach of the Year. Some reason he should be the Coach of the Year.
You won't get a lot of argument out of me on that. 3:55 left in the ball game. Clausen right up in the middle, and that ball is tipped by one of the linebackers, Jomo Fagan, the intended receiver.
How much time for Dick Clark and the McGuire sisters to start singing?
Yeah, it looks like championship shirts about to come out. Teams always hide these. They don't dare make a presence until it's like, you know, all the chairs are in the wagon and everybody is pretty set that it's going to work. And you can see the size on that box right there. That's for the lineman. That's a XXL. Now this is Jonathan Wade, going to go for a short gain. Jonathan, a freshman out of Shreveport.
I wonder if any of those T-shirts they had ready for the championship game ever appeared at the flea market when they did win.
I've often wondered what happens to
They go to the flea market.
Yeah.
20 cents a shirt. And they send it down somewhere in El Paso, you know, that El Paso, or they take it a long way away from Maryland.
Okay, 30-3, Maryland leads. 3:19 left in the ball game.
Prior to the snap, illegal snap, offense, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Well officiated football game tonight.
Yeah, it has been. It has been.
This Big Ten crew. Well officiated.
So it's 3rd down and 11. Clausen retreats. Here's pressure, and they get to him for the 6th time tonight. 6 sacks by the Maryland defenders. Landon Jones makes the tackle, and when you consider the fact that Duffy, a brand new face, Landon Jones just has not very much playing time. Those are the 2 defensive tackles. They have continued to get a push, and got to give a lot of credit to the defense. Gary Blackney,
Rod Sharpless, the linebacker coach, the defensive line. Everybody's played well tonight and been a part of this victory.
Sports Center coming up immediately following our ball game. We're about to go under 2 minutes left in this one. Colquitt's kick, end over end, and it's going to go out of bounds around the 44-yard line. Sports Center coming up next. Let's go bowling. Claret, OSU at odds, and the Packers hoping to heal. That's on Sports Center coming up next.
One thing you don't need if you're Ohio State is distractions.
Yeah, I'm feeling it's staff certainly didn't want all the things to have occurred that have occurred the last couple of days. Chris Kelly is coming into the lineup at quarterback. Number 2, a sophomore out of Germantown, Maryland. 6'2", 213. So he'll guide them on this final drive here. They have 2:14 left in the ball game. And it's Josh Allen, a freshman out of Blandenburg, Maryland. First time we've seen him tonight. 5'11", 194 freshman. He scored 8 touchdowns this year.
11 wins for the second time in school history. 110 seasons, so this is going to be a very happy New Year if you're a Maryland football fan.
Well, think about Maryland as far as the 2 major sports, a national championship in basketball and an 11-win and bowl victory in football. Seconds left in the ball game. Again, it's Josh Allen. Wilson comes over to make the tackle. Henderson loosening up the pads, thinking he's not going to have to come out on the field and do any more damage tonight. And he is kind of heavy at heart, I'm sure, because this is the last time he'll have that Maryland uniform on. Boy, I tell you, there are a lot of fans who are going to.
But that's the part of college football. You spend so many days with your teammates, and when it all ends, it's a sad, sad situation. But move on.
Josh Allen not going to have the first down. He'll take it to the 49.5-yard line. Clock runs at 40 seconds and now 39.
Ron, we saw some of the Hall of Famers last night. Don McCauley. Sellers was there, so
Randy White.
Yeah.
21 seconds, now 20. This Maryland crowd is up, and they are applauding, and they're cheering, and they should. Their ball club has done an extremely good job tonight against Tennessee. Ralph Friedgen guiding his team to an 11-win season. Respect for each other. Final score, Maryland 30 and Tennessee 3. Coming up next, Sports Center. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Happy New Year, everybody, and good night from Atlanta, Georgia.